Hello everyone. Welcome back to our channel Canada Immigration. We hope you're doing great. Well, in this episode, we'll discuss Canada Work Permit 2023. So, to get all the information, pay attention and watch the video through to the end. Please hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to push the notification bell for upcoming episodes. So, without any further delay, let's jump into the video. Why Canada Work Permit Visa? Earn a salary of $50,000, $60,000 Canadian dollars on average. Obtain citizenship in 3 to 5 years. Average weekly hours worked 40. Paid vacation, 4 weeks. Streamlined immigration regulations for professionals' retirement benefits. Canada A Work Permit, often known as a work visa, is given to eligible foreign nationals so they can work there for a set amount of time only after receiving a job offer, or an employment contract from a Canadian employer. Our people need to apply for a work visa. Employers who wish to hire foreign skilled employees for positions that cannot be filled by Canadian citizens or permanent residents must first obtain an LMIA, Labour Market Impact Assessment from ESDC, Employment and Social Development Canada. For people looking to work overseas, Canada is an excellent option because it has one of the strongest economies in the world. Business people, temporary workers, employees who are employed permanently, students, and other individuals are all eligible for the Canadian Work Permit Visa. Canada Work Permit Visa details. Canada issued visas to more than 400,000 foreign applicants in 2021 for foreign laborers looking to improve their standard of living. This is a fantastic chance. With a visa for a work permit from Canada, you can work in Canada under the employer you have mentioned in your work permit application. 1. Have the ability to apply for dependent visas to call your dependents. 2. Earn in dollars. 3. Travel across Canada. 4. Apply for a PR visa at a later date. Candidates must provide documentation proving their eligibility to accept the employment offer. You must fulfill certain standards in order to apply for a Canada Work Permit from India. All paperwork must be presented in English. For temporary employees, international graduates from Canadian institutions, business people, and other people who need to work in Canada, the Canada Work Permit Visa is appropriate. Eligibility for Canada Work Permit Visa. Show an officer evidence that you'll leave Canada once your work permit expires. Have proof that you will be able to support yourself and your family throughout your stay in Canada, such as financial documentation. General eligibility requirements. 1. Possess a clean criminal record and provide documentation from the police. 2. Are not a threat to the security of Canada. 3. Must be in excellent health and submit to a medical examination if necessary. 4. Have no intention of working for a company that the government has deemed ineligible due to their failure to meet specific requirements. 5. Have no intention of working for a company that provides sensual massages, escort services, or erotic dance. Documents required to apply for a Canada Work Permit Visa. A passport in good standing with a validity date that is greater than 6 months past the intended date of entry into Canada. B2 most recent passport-sized photos. C. Academic credentials certificates. D. A particular employer. You can essentially work for any employer if you have an open work permit. The Labour Market Impact Assessment, LMIA, and an offer letter from an employer who has paid the compliance fee are not necessary for applicants, because this visa is not job-specific. You can work for any employer in Canada with an open work visa, with the exception of those that engage in escorting, erotic massage, or exotic dancing services, or who do not adhere to labor laws. As its name implies, an employer-specific work permit enables you to work just for that company, while an employer-specific work permit only applies to that employer. An open work permit may have additional restrictions that will be noted on it. These consist of: type of work, places where you can work, duration of work. Holders of the following visas can apply for an open work permit. 1. Temporary work permits for spouses. 2. Post-graduation work permit. 3. Temporary resident permit. 4. World Youth Program permit. 5 Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program Spousal Permit. 6 Regular Open Work Permit. 7 Bridging Open Work Permit. Open Work Permit are evidence of the financial means to sustain your family's stay in Canada throughout the work permit's validity. B. Evidence showing you have never had a criminal record. C. Evidence of your good health. D. Willingness to follow the requirements of your work permit, especially if it comes with restrictions. E. Satisfy qualifying requirements such as language proficiency, biometric information, and insurance. Types of Canada work visas. Canada has 2 types of work permits and different types of visas through which candidates can apply to work there. These work permits are: 1 Open Work Permit. 2 Closed Work Permit. There are 2 subcategories of open work permits, which are as follows: A. Unrestricted work permits. B. Restricted work permits. Applicants with unrestricted work permits may choose their employers and any location inside Canada. A restricted work permit limits the applicant's freedom of movement by allowing them to work only for particular employers. Employer-specific work licenses are restricted work permits. The following is a list of some of the open Canada work permits. 1 Temporary work permits for spouses or partners. 2 Post-graduation work permit. 3 Temporary resident permit. 4 World Youth Program permit. 5 Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program Spousal Permit. 6 Regular Open Work Permit. 7 Bridging Open Work Permit. The following is the list of a few programs for which open work permits can be used. 1 Working Holiday Visa. 2 Young Professionals Visa. 3 International Experience Canada. 4 Federal Skilled Worker Program. 5 Canadian Experience Class. 6 Federal Skilled Trades Program. 7 Provincial Nominee Program. 8 International Co-op Program. Eligibility requirements to apply for a Canada work permit. Regardless of the type of work permit you are requesting, you must meet some qualifying requirements. These consist of: provide proof to the immigration officer that you will leave Canada on the expiry of your work permit. Proof of financial resources that can support yours and your family's stay in Canada during the work permit validity. Proof that Steps to apply for Canada work permit. Step 1. Applicants must fulfill the prerequisites in order to submit an application for a work visa in Canada. Step 2. In addition to their academic evaluations, candidates must review their points. Step 3. Applicants must submit an online application via the Express Entry website. Step 4. Candidates who receive invitations to apply must submit an application for permanent residence in Canada, along with the necessary documentation and fee payments. Dependent Work Visa. The Dependent Work Visa category of the Canadian government permits immigration for family members, bringing family members with a work permit. If you receive a job offer from a Canadian employer and have an open work permit, you may be able to bring your spouse and children to Canada. Your kids will be able to enroll in Canadian schools without needing their own individual study permits in order to work in Canada. Your spouse may also apply for an open work permit. Who can be included on a dependent visa? The following family members are eligible for a dependent work permit in Canada. 1 Spouses, or common law partners who are at least 16 years old. 2 Grandparents as well as parents. 3 Dependent youngsters, including adoptive kids. 4 You'd like to adopt underage kids. 5 Siblings, nieces and nephews, young people under 18, orphans, and singles. 6 Additional family members that live in or outside of Canada. The following factors determine whether a child is dependent. 1 Children younger than 22, unmarried or without a common law partner. 2 Children who have become a spouse or common law partner before they reach the age of 22. and are highly dependent on parents for financial assistance. 3 children who are financially dependent on parents until they reach age 22 due to a certain physical impairment. Dependent visa application requirements. To sponsor your family members for a dependent visa for Canada, you must include the following. You can demonstrate that you are financially secure and able to sustain your family by providing documented evidence of your financial situation and cash flow over the previous 12 months. The child you are supporting for a Canadian dependent visa must be under the age of 22. They ought to be able to demonstrate their monetary dependence on you. You can sponsor a child if you can demonstrate that he or she is unable to work for a living due to a physical or mental disability. It should either be your biological child or an adoptive child. You must present a birth or adoption certificate to establish your relationship. If a criminal history or a physical condition that could be contagious or start an epidemic is discovered, the child will need to go through a medical and criminal screening and might not be allowed to enter the country. Documents required to apply for dependents. 1 passport and travel history. 2 background documentation. 3 spouse or partner documentation including marriage certificate. For other proof of relationship. 5 completed application and consulate fees. That is all for today, in this video. What are your thoughts on this? Please let us know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching the entire video. Hopefully, the information is useful to you. See you later, in the next episode. Till then, take care.